How would you be affected if your residential tenant stopped paying you rent on your buy-to-let property? Well, pressure is building for the government to offer some help for tenants in the private rented sector who are affected by the current COVID-19 crisis gripping the nation. Now, of course, in this difficult period, tenants who are affected will require some help. If the government are watching this video, then I have a simple solution which can really target help to private rented sector tenants without ruining buy-to-let landlords and the private rented sector. And that's all coming up. If you agree with what I'm saying, smash the like button. Also, share this video with other buy-to-let landlords that you know. Help must be provided to tenants who are affected by the COVID-19 crisis, but it has to be done in a certain way. My name is Ranjan. I've been investing in property for the last 30 years. Welcome to my YouTube channel. During these challenging times, we'll be releasing video updates very frequently to help you survive and get through these uncertain times. Now, Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party are rushing through some draft piece of legislation to basically say that if tenants do not pay their rent, that is not going to be grounds for eviction or issuing Section 21 or Section 8 notices. Residential tenants do need some help, but this is certainly not the way. The big question, of course, is who should pay for providing this help? My big fear is that the left, and particularly the landlord-hating Jeremy Corbyn, is going to require that the help is given at the ruination of some buy-to-let landlords. Now, if you are a residential homeowner, the government has introduced measures to allow you to have a mortgage payment holiday of a few months while you deal with these difficult times. Now, from the bank's point of view, it's a relatively simple and safe thing to give. It's not a letting off the mortgage, it is a deferment of the interest payments and adding it to the existing loan. If you think about it, if you've got a property on a mortgage, you've typically borrowed 70–80% of the value of that property, which means you've got equity in that property and you're not going anywhere. So deferring or adding 3 months worth of mortgage interest to the end loan is no big deal for the bank. For buy-to-let landlords, it's a completely different ball game. We, of course, only hold a few weeks deposit of the tenants, and a sustained period of non-payment simply means that although it may be deferred, there is no guarantee that landlords will be able to actually claim this back or get it back. One of the big problems I see is how the government views buy-to-let landlords. They don't really see us as having a trading business. They see us as having an investment business. And that's a big deal and a big difference. If you have a trading business, you're Doris the florist on the high street, then you've got help. You've got business rates relief, you've got cash grants being given and some real help and some business loans being given to help you see off this crisis. Property businesses are seen as investment businesses, and that's the confusion there, because they see it as, well, people have invested in buy-to-let property and you will take the falls as well as the rises in the same way as investing in the stock market. However, if you run a portfolio of buy-to-let property, you will know that residential property needs active management, and that's day-to-day work. The other big problem, of course, is that most buy-to-let properties are owned by small-time landlords who just have 1 or 2 properties in their portfolio. As such, they will not be owning those in a limited company, they will not be incorporated, and they will be subjected to Section 24. In other words, they will be paying tax on their mortgage interest payments as though it's income. How about the government do an immediate reversal of Section 24 to help? Because this tax is crippling many of the smaller buy-to-let portfolio holders. Number 2, landlords have to pay VAT on all their property-related expenses. That's 20% VAT on letting agent fees. That's 20% VAT if you need to replace the boiler or call a tradesman out. What about an immediate cessation of VAT for landlords in terms of to cover their repairing and maintenance bills? One of the other problems landlords are facing with this ongoing crisis is that prospective tenants are not making appointments to view properties to let. As such, properties to let are taking longer to let and voids are increasing. The basic problem with this draft legislation bill from the Labour Party is that they view landlords as cash cows, willing to or able to accept and to finance these haircuts in rent. But that is not really the landscape now. If the government wishes to help private rented sector tenants, the easiest way to offer immediate help is to extend the housing benefit system by offering emergency housing benefit payments to those who are affected by this COVID-19 crisis. The problem that landlords have, of course, is that as a landlord, how would we differentiate between a legitimate claim and an illegitimate claim? You know, that is the big problem. Whereas the housing benefit system and the government system is well placed to make those sort of decisions. There will be tenants in the private rented sector who will be in urgent need of help. But as I said before, that cannot come at the expense of ruining private landlords, and also the long-term effect it will have as droves of landlords will just quit the sector and the supply of rented housing will be drastically reduced. And of course, I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say that Jeremy Corbyn should be heeding one bit of government advice. That government advice being for 70-year-olds, as Jeremy Corbyn is, to self-isolate immediately. And in Jeremy Corbyn's case, I suggest we self-isolate him and throw away the key. As many of you know, we also run a commercial property portfolio, and in that portfolio we have a number of retail premises dotted around the place. Now, you'll know if you've seen some of my previous videos, I'll put some links in the top here. We're very selective of high street retail property that we acquire. They have to be in areas of affluence with high footfall where there's plenty of occupier demand. We also are very selective about the tenants that we let to. Most are individual business owners, and the leases are in the name of the proprietor or have personal guarantees from the proprietor, who are also UK homeowners. So that gives us some surety, if you like, in some of those commercial leases. Also, the government have done exactly what I'm suggesting they do with the private rented sector. What they've done is they've directed focused help at business owners to allow them to meet their outgoings, if you like, one of which is rent to their landlords. So with commercial tenants, they've given them business rates relief. They've given some smaller businesses a £3,000, just a cash grant, and they've made available interest-free loans for businesses so that they can address their cash flow issues and make sure all their outgoings are paid. What I'm suggesting here is that a similar type of measures be afforded to the private rented sector. In other words, emergency housing benefit payments direct to the people who are in the most need. If you think this is the best way to tackle the problem of tenants in the private rented sector affected by COVID-19, then like this video. Also share it with other property landlords that you know. If you disagree or you think there are other solutions, then please comment below. If you've been affected already as a landlord by tenants not being able to pay rent or difficulty in letting properties or in some other way by the COVID-19 crisis, then also let us know in the comments below. This month's Baker Street Property Meet, Thursday the 26th of March, is going ahead. We normally have 300 people in the room in London where we meet. We now have the capacity for 500 people. Am I nuts? No, I'm not nuts, because we're doing it completely online. We're doing it in an innovative way. It's going to be highly interactive. As I said, we only have 500 slots available to participate in this special event Thursday 26th of March. Now, you just have to register. It's completely free. The details are on the bottom of the screen, www.bakerstreetpropertymeet.com. Now, as part of that event, I'll also be joined by John Howard, David Sanderman, Andrew Roberts as well. And we will be hosting a live national debate and discussion on COVID-19 and how it's affecting the property sector and your property businesses. We've got a range of experts to answer your questions live. Make sure you're there. It's completely free. Register bakerstreetpropertymeet.com. And make sure you subscribe to our channel as well. Press the bell icon. We'll notify you as soon as we upload. We'll be keeping you updated with all the latest developments that affect the property sector and some more educational videos as well. See you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, hit the bell icon. As soon as we upload, we'll let you know. And enjoy these. They're all dedicated to helping you be more successful in property. Happy investing!